Alright people, welcome back. Hope you have your popcorn ready because I have a feature-length film for you today. We have a big mission ahead of us. We've already done a lot so far. We put a stop to a Geth invasion over there in the Andromeda cluster. Then we dealt with these mad Batarians trying to drive an asteroid into Terra Nova to kill however many millions of people. It's one less thorn in our side. They won't get a chance to do that again. Now I say we track down the real threat. Supposedly Saren is doing something over here on Virmire. It's not really clear what, because all we really have is an SOS signal from one of the Council's Black Ops group. And I guess they were supposed to be tracking down Saren also, so that's why the Council thought it was noteworthy enough to send to us. I think there's another agenda here, but the bottom line is as long as the clues lead to Saren, I guess that's all that really matters, as long as we can find him and put a stop to him. But I can go ahead and pass along a little theory that I have as to how the Council was actually playing this. And I think it really plays into how they've been dealing with us so far, being kind of shifty, right? Not being real helpful. But like I say, as long as it leads us to Saren, I guess that's all that really matters. Anyway, first things first, we gotta get Joker to drop us off down here.
Commander, I'm reading a signal. Must be our Solarian infiltration team.
Check out those defense towers.
Drop the Mako. We'll go in hot and take them out.
I'll get you in underneath their radar, Commander. You've got a clean drop, Commander.
Stay out of range and continue evasive maneuvers until I bring those AA towers down.
I know the drill. Meet you at the camp once those towers are offline. Joker out.
Man, did you see Joker's flying skills? That dude threaded a needle. He dropped us off on a dime. There wasn't 2 feet clearance on either side of the wings there. And that dude really is bad. He does have skills. Awesome. Alright, so here's my little theory. Okay, now on the surface, here's what the Council tells us. They have Spec Ops groups, Black Ops groups, spies, infiltrators, agents, whatever, all over the place. They're their eyes and ears across the galaxy. We kind of already knew that. Okay, that makes sense. They'd almost have to be a governing body for all the different species. Blah blah blah. Okay, but here's the thing: is this particular Spec Ops group or Black Ops group, whatever, was tracking Saren specifically. And our first question was, well, why didn't we know anything about that? In other words, wouldn't it make more sense for us to coordinate this effort? If we have leads, or if they have leads, that we could share those to help us catch this guy faster, because he is a threat to, all living beings in the galaxy, to everybody, not just you, not just me, type of thing. But their response was basically, we have these groups everywhere, and there's a lot of information to process, and when they pass along something that we feel might be of value to you, then we'll go ahead and pass it along. And that was really political speak for saying, we're driving this car, you're in the back seat, just shut up, right? We're running this. And that really is their mentality. And that really leads me to think that, honestly, politics are as big a threat to the galaxy as Saren is. It can get everybody killed just as easily, right? And that you can't deal with anything as a group. Right? You can't help each other while you're constantly trying to edge each other out through some political bullshit. And here's why I say this. Notice that this is a Solarian infiltration team, right? And if it wasn't Solarians, guess what it would be? It would be Turians, or it would be Asari, or it would be anybody but humans, specifically to keep humans out of the loop. We wouldn't be in the loop if it weren't for the fact that things went bad here. Okay? The Solarians here didn't send out a message giving details on exactly what was going on here. They sent out an SOS, which no one could really even understand. But the SOS wouldn't have been sent unless this was a complete disaster. All right, so there's a twofold thing going on here, and you can see how the Council is trying to play their cards. One is they had their own Black Ops group in there trying to clean up their mess. And what is their mess? Saren is their mess. He was the Council Spectre, and he wasn't a human, he was a Turian. He's an embarrassment to the Council. What better to fix that mess than the Council? As long as it's anybody but the humans, right? If we come in and fix this mess, put a stop to Saren, save the galaxy, guess what that gives us? It gives us a lot of leverage amongst the other Council races, amongst the galaxy in general. We've already got one foot in the door. I think we'd solidify our place among everybody, and probably leapfrog a few of them along the way if we go ahead and save the galaxy, right? especially if humanity basically does it single-handedly. Well, up to this point, the Council's already invested in not helping us. Okay, they've already made it clear they're going to resist us almost as hard as the Geth and Saren are, as far as that goes. If we get anything, it's going to be like pulling teeth, right? That's been pretty obvious, and everybody kind of understands that. Even people who are totally in line with that, who don't like humans either, at least have to admit that that's the truth, that humans are pretty much doing this on their own. Human colonies get attacked, humans go deal with it. You heard the Council's response at the very beginning of the game, and it was put into the script, the dialogue, for a reason. Is that I think it was the Turian councilman, he said, well, we don't go build our colonies in enemy space. Y'all do that. And of course our response was, yeah, y'all don't mind reaping the profits. Y'all don't mind discovering new territories at our expense. When things go good, y'all don't mind sharing in the rewards. But when things go bad, you leave us completely hanging. It's all take, no give, right? And it's been like that in everything, and we've seen that. Sometimes it's subtle. Sometimes it's kind of well hidden. But still, that's been the overall mentality of them dealing with this. So anyway, this is my theory, and I believe this actually to be the case. But there's nothing that specifically says this, but it's kind of if you read between the lines, is that this was a council Black Ops group, one of probably many. But these guys just happened to actually track down Saren and find them. Maybe the spies or the infiltrators they have here in this group are actually really good. Solarians aren't stupid, you know. They are pretty slick. They make really good spies and infiltrators, actually. But among all the council groups that they have out here without any human knowledge, not helping us at all. They're not asking for help, but they certainly have the full support of the council. You get it? Okay, so you got, who knows, Solarian groups, Asari groups, Turian groups, who knows what else, right? Maybe even Hanar and Elcor, although I don't see them making real good spies. That's kind of a running joke, but whatever, all right? Whoever's out there that the council's got, we don't know about it. They haven't clued us in. They're not going to inform us of anything until, guess what? Until things go bad. And so it's a twofold thing. Not only are they reluctantly passing along a lead to Saren, because I think in the back of their mind, aside from all their politics and their own petty self-interests that are probably going to get as many people killed as the Geth or Saren will, right? Aside from that, in the back of their brain somewhere, they have to realize that someone needs to put a stop to this. So if there's a legitimate lead, they could be at least incriminated for not sharing it. And how pathetic is all that, right? Okay, but on the flip side of that same coin, what do they also want us to do? Come in once again and clean up their mess. Things went bad for their Black Ops group here, and they might as well turn it into something good, right? And so if we can come in and salvage this, then they can still take some credit for it as being the ones to give us a lead. You see how they play it from every angle? And that is honestly, I believe, what's going on here, and it's evil.
Shields down.
It's evil. But also, it makes a really, really good chapter in a spy novel or a political novel, you know? Something you might get from John Le Carre or something. I mean, it's really good writing. It's amazing. All the subtleties, you know, it's realistic. Like the governments and diplomats and politicians and stuff do this shit every day. This type of stuff. How can I work this to my angle? How can we turn this to our good? You know, you got the special secret branches of every government constantly spinning things and finding ways to salvage operations and have double agents and turn enemies against other enemies and all this other stuff going on, right? Anyway, I don't know. I think it's cool. I think it's fascinating. I could not write this, but I can appreciate it, you know, when I see it. All right, so suffice it to say, we can see behind the council's little games here. But at the end of the matter, if we can find Saren and put a stop to him, I guess cool. If humanity doesn't get the credit that it should, and the council finds some way to steal and all that, you know, that's children's games. That's kiddie games. Like I say, that type of stuff, trying to do that, if that's your agenda, that gets people killed. That's what results in a lot more calamity than what has to be. You already got the bad guys doing bad, right? So, you know, what is even Rex? You know, the Krogan as blunt and brutal and dumbed down, just give me something to hit, as they're made out to be. At least even Rex understand. You know, there's a saying amongst the Krogan: the enemy of your enemy, you might find a friend. There's at least that. You know, like, can you get along for 2 seconds? Put galactic grudges aside, shit that doesn't mean anything. long enough to go fight the main bad guy, the one who's an enemy to everybody. And the worst part is, Saren probably thinks he's justified. He probably thinks it's an excuse. Probably thinks he's valid. He probably thinks he has a cause that he's living by here. So that makes him even more dangerous, right? So, I would think that the logical thing would be to make it a community effort. I mean, obviously, right? I mean, if they're threatening everybody should get together and put an end to that threat, so you can at least sort of get along afterwards. True enough, relations between the races is tense at best, right? But at least we're not in all-out warfare. At least we're not legitimately saying, I'm going to exterminate you. Although the Solarians and Turians might have said something like that to the Krogan. That's a whole other side issue. And that, you know, that's probably going to play into things later. If we ever need the Krogan's help at some point in fighting the main threat, right? Because we got to assume, since there's a Mass Effect 2 and 3, that we don't end the main threat here and now. We can deal with the present problem, but we've already seen Saren is one thing. The Reapers and all that, I mean, we're opening the pages for, you know, a big story here. A lot more than just some mad Turian out there with a grudge against humanity and the rest of the galaxy, right? We're talking about an even greater threat, something that no one can even conceive of, because the last thing that was heard from this was 50,000 years ago, and all existence of it has basically been wiped from all evidence from the history books, right? And we're just kind of rediscovering this and trying to deal with it, picking up the scraps as we go along. How did I knock that dude down? Take that, you big old bitch. I must have really laid into his legs with the cannon or something. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, that's the obvious. We all need to just get along, or else we're all going to die type of thing. But the getting along part is, I think we're going to find just how bad human nature, well, I say human nature, what would you say when you're talking about all the aliens too? That human nature doesn't apply to just humans, right? That it applies to all? That we all share that one thing, that need for pride and greed, and to be the king of the hill and all this other stuff. It's funny when you're the king of a hill, but there's no hill left to sit on, right? It's one thing to rule the world, but if in the process of gaining control of it, you destroy the world in the process, then you have nothing left to lord it over, right? When it's all said and done. I don't know, man. You're gonna hear that argument a lot, not just from me, but from characters in the game stuff. But it's really kind of laying the foundation, the groundwork for a lot of the stuff, a lot of the threats that you face on every front as you play along. Hidden agendas, the politics, the motives, the espionage, the subterfuge, and all those other fancy words, right? It's just, man, isn't it awesome? And somehow through all this, you need to be the hero of all this, and you need to be the bigger man or the bigger woman or whatever. You need to, yeah. Sometimes it's hard. So we have a ways to go here. A lot of this is the obvious gauntlet that you have to run. We are trying to work our way to the Solarian base camp here, and all these Geth here are Saren's defenses. What we're actually trying to work towards is essentially one of, if not Saren's main base, one of his bases of operation. Essentially, we didn't catch him on Pharos when he was using the Thorian for his own devices. We didn't catch him on Novaria when he was at Peak 15, checking up on his... Well, actually, I guess he didn't actually make a visit to Peak 15. I think he sent Matriarch Venezia in his place as his representative. I think that was the case there. So I don't think we really missed him there. That was just our way to get to him through the Matriarch. She at least did have some information for us on an OSD, so I guess that was the case there. But in every other case, we've been kind of like a step behind. Hopefully we can catch him here. In the process of invading his little base, we can trap him in his little base here and get our hands on him. Man, if I can stay out of range of this dude's Gatling guns, that would be great. Notice I'm almost out of shields here. On Insanity, your Mako shields can go down pretty quick. And it's not so much those big energy balls they shoot at you. Once your shields are down, those things will destroy you quick. Your shields are pretty good against those, but it's those stupid Gatling guns they shoot at you. It's almost like they have a minigun built into their chest or something, or into their face or something. Anyway, them and the Colossus and the other ones, the other smaller versions of these guys. Yeah, they're bad about that. I think he's shooting at us, but I think it's hitting the cliff in front of him. I don't mind cheesing him a little bit right here. There's enough of these guys where I can give my shields an opportunity to build back up a little bit. Take this guy out in the process. Totally cool with that. See ya, bitch. Big old flashlight face. We got a sniper. Not anymore. We've leveled up pretty well. I think we're gonna hit 52-ish. Something like that, maybe 53. Once it's all said and done. Who knows? I think what we really want to do is cross the 50 mark regardless, which I don't think is gonna be any problem. We still have some game to go. We still have some things to do. But I think if you import a level 50 plus, 50 through 59, you get a certain bonus in Mass Effect 2. I think if you import a full level 60, which would be a maxed character where that's usually one of the last trophies that you get, also the achievements, is to reach 60. Literally from 59 to 60 is almost an entire playthrough by itself. That's, yeah, it's crazy. All the way up to 59. To get from, I think you can get from 52 or 53 to 59 in a playthrough. And then once you hit 59, you need an entire game in and of itself just to hit that last level. That's how much XP it takes. It's like this huge jump. I don't remember, it's like half a million. It's a lot. Whatever it is. Man, these guys are tanky, man. Seriously. I'm really glad when we don't have to fight any more Colossus. Speaking of Colossus, I'm sure glad I picked up a set of that armor, man. Sexy stats. Sexy stats. Colossus light armor is as good, if not better, than just about every other kind of heavy armor. Basically. I would have liked to have found some much earlier, but that's cool. We've been getting by. We've been doing fine, I think. Sometimes even taking some of these fights kind of casually, really. Someone mentioned using the, what is that pistol ability? Sharpshooter, I think, or whatever it's called, where you can shoot faster and your gun doesn't overheat as fast. I think you get a damage bonus and stuff. I'll sometimes forget I even have that. He mentioned, you know, when you singularity your enemies and stuff, and you hit that special ability, you can take them out while they're floating around a lot faster. And I was like, dude, honestly, I forget it's even there. I'll forget to even use it. Once the biotics are set, you're usually good to go. Like I say, with each different kind of class, I guess there's a different strategy or whatever, a different setup you can use. With the biotic, it's just stack biotics. And it's more tactical. It's not so much. It's not as much. At least now it changes in Mass Effect 2 and 3. But in Mass Effect 1, it's not so much the damage with the biotics. It's the tactical ability to control the battlefield. That's where they really come in handy. I can also say it'd be nice to have run around here with an assault rifle instead. It would go a little faster. The damage is good. They shoot really fast. Got a lot of rounds. If you get one that doesn't overheat real quick, you can really lay down some lead with those things. But we've been getting by with a pistol, so hey, good enough, right? Final battle might be a little bit more interesting. For that, but I think we'll be fine. Oh wow, 2 destroyers? I thought he was dead. Okay. Let's see how he likes landing face first into the concrete. Alright, good deal. Lots of loot here. I expect to find at least one set of usable armor here. At least one set. Good thing is if I find it for me, then I can give it to Liara because she wears human armor also. And if I find one for Quarian, which would be
down, Commander.
really rare, actually.
To the Solarian base now. Out.
Nice. Nice. All right, so got down the air defenses to where the Normandy can at least land. That's good. There's some cool things we can do on this mission, actually. Once we really get into the thick of it, there's some ways that we can save some lives and do some good here. I like Virmire, I really do. Anyway, I was going to say, if we can find a set of human armor, it's cool, I can pass along to Liara, and if we can find a set of Quarian armor, well, that would be awesome, because we have had no luck, not even with the merchants, finding anything that Tali can really use. Anything decent, anyway. We find her a set of, I don't know if they make Titans for the Quarians, but Colossus would be fabulous. Or whatever the equivalent of that would be. I know the Turians have sets that are kind of unique to them. I think Silverback is one. Actually, I think there's 2 or 3 for Turians. And then I believe the Krogans have one also. It's unique to them. Although Colossus or Titan or... what's the Krogan one might be... Is it Mercenary? Maybe not. Mantis? No. Mantis is armor for everybody, I think, too. Not bad armor, I don't think. Anyway, doesn't matter. Whatever. But if we can find a set for Tali, that'd just be perfect. Or Liara, I'd settle for that. This is the place to find it. That's why I was bringing it up. Virmire is really good about... I don't think I've ever left here without finding a set for somebody that I can use. And there'll be a million weapons too, but I don't really care. As long as I have the Spectre gear, I'm good. Oh, ambush, huh? Nice. They're ready for us. Get them, Liara. That's right. Spam your buttocks, girl. That's right. Kick his ass. She did all that. You get Liara a good amp and give her mods in her armor that reduce her cooldown even further, where her cooldowns are basically double. Oh man, she's a beast. Absolute beast. She doesn't really need all that much armor because half the time the enemies can't even hit her. They're too busy floating around in the air and bumping into one another and bouncing off walls and flying in outer space and all that cool shit. Oh, and by the way, she's not just my waifu in Mass Effect. She's not just my, like, permanent girlfriend. But she's also my go-to squad mate, basically through the entire franchise. Through the whole series. As long as she's available as a teammate, she's there. Because her biotics never get old. They never go stale. Nice. Pretty much a straight run, I think. We might have one more roadblock, maybe. I don't remember. But that may be it. Also, all these Geth and stuff that we kill here are really good about dropping stuff, too. Usually ammo mods and things like that, but still, we'll take it. Got our full shields back, too. I guess we won't be needing them. That was a pretty clean run, actually. Sometimes run into trouble, especially with the Colossus and stuff. Now we get a good view of the coast right here. Reminds me a lot of Dragon Age 2 right here. For anyone who's played the Dragon Age. Even Dragon Age 1, but especially Dragon Age 2 along the coast.
Down at the base, but it looks like we're grounded. The Solarian captain can explain what we get here.
The Wounded Coast, I noticed the art style is really, really similar when it comes to the backdrops. In fact, Dragon Age 2 from beginning to end, the backdrops look very, very Mass Effect-ish. Where you have a thin area that you actually explore, but off in the distance, you know, you see the hills, the mountains, and what have you. Oceans and whatever.
So what are we supposed to do now?
Stay put until we can come up with a plan.
Are you in charge here? What's the situation?
I'm Captain Kirahi, 3rd Infiltration Regiment STG. You and your crew have just landed in the middle of a hot zone. Every AA gun within 10 miles has been alerted to your presence.
What are we supposed to do in the meantime?
We stay put until the Council sends the reinforcements we requested.
We are the reinforcements.
What? You're all they sent? I told the Council to send a fleet.
We couldn't understand your transmission. They sent me to investigate.
That is a repetition of our task. I lost half my men investigating this place.
So what have you found?
Saren's base of operations. He set up a research facility here, but it's crawling with Geth and very well fortified.
Is he here? Have you seen him?
No, but his Geth are everywhere, and we've intercepted some comms referring to Saren. This is his facility, there's no doubt about that.
What's Saren researching?
He's using the facility to breed an army of Krogan.
How is that possible?
Apparently, Saren has discovered a cure for the genophage.
What's so important about curing this genophage?
It was the solution to the Krogan problem.
We introduced the genophage to the Krogan population after the uprising, to quell their numbers. Without it, the Krogan will quickly overrun the galaxy. And these Krogan follow Saren.
The Geth are bad enough, but a Krogan army. He'd be almost unstoppable.
Exactly my thoughts. We must ensure that this facility and its secrets are destroyed.
Destroyed? I don't think so. Our people are dying. This cure can save them.
If that cure leaves this planet, the Krogan will become unstoppable. We can't make the same mistake again.
We are not a mistake.
Is he going to be a problem? We already have enough angry Krogan to deal with.
Don't worry about it, Captain.
I do worry. That's why I'm still alive. Why don't you go talk to the Krogan? My men and I need some time to come up with a new plan of attack. In the meantime, if you need any supplies, you can talk to Commander Rentola. He's in one of the tents nearby.
Looks like things are a bit of a mess.
Yeah. I wouldn't be so worried if it wasn't for Rex. It looks like he's gonna blow a gasket.
You think I should go talk to him?
It wouldn't hurt. Well, it might, actually. Just do it carefully.
Rex doesn't worry me. He'll fall in line.
If you say so. But I'm gonna keep my eye on him, if it's all the same to you.
I'm concerned about Rex. Can we still trust him?
Man, I'm sure he's saying the same thing about
battle
us.
Frightens me, but I know Saren must be stopped.
I don't technically have a squad mate, so I have no ability to hack or
Greetings,
anything.
human. I am Commander Rentola. I can provide you with supplies for the upcoming mission. For anything else, I suggest you speak with Captain Kirahi.
Just tell me what you have available.
We have limited reserves. We requested a fleet to destroy Saren's base. Instead, they sent you.
I've been trying to warn the Council about Saren since this started.
Then I hope they find the sense to listen, before it's too late.
Let me see what you have.
What little there is.
Okay, so this really proves my theory, right? If the Council sent these guys and they were to find Saren, their orders were to do everything but inform us. They know we're after Saren, that we're the Spectre assigned to find Saren, which I'm sure the other Spectres and stuff were assigned to keep their eye out for him too, and so on and so forth. But these guys were hunting Saren, and should they find him, they were supposed to request a fleet to come in and back them up or whatever, right? But they weren't ever in any way, shape, or form told to notify us. And this would be a primary interest to us. They only reluctantly told us after the fact to come in and clean up their mess. See what I'm getting at? Anyway, that pretty much says it all right there. But, yeah, it's just pathetic, man. You think about the ramifications, the consequences, the impact on everybody. This type, and it's the Council that provides leadership, and that leadership is what you rely on to make sound decisions and bring safety to the galaxy, to the people as a whole, by a combined cumulative effort of the best minds or governing minds of the people to get together and provide. And if these are the ones giving the orders to keep people, oh, that's a scary thought. Saren isn't the only thing to be scared of around here. That's what I'm saying.
I am worried that Rex's allegiance to it may be weak.
That's one way to put it. And you know what? I wouldn't blame him. This is sticky right here.
This isn't right, Shepard. If there's a cure for the genophage, we can't destroy it.
I do understand, actually.
Calm down, Rex. I'm not the enemy here. Saren's the one you should be mad at.
Really? Saren created a cure for my people. You want to destroy it. Help me out here, Shepard. The lines between friend and foe are getting a little blurry from where I stand.
I don't care what your personal feelings are. This base gets destroyed.
Don't push me, Shepard. I followed you because I wanted to fight for something more than credits. I've been loyal to you so far. Hell, you did more for me than my family ever did. But if I'm going to keep following you, I need to know we're doing it for the right reasons.
All you need to know is that I'm giving you an order to fall in line.
So that's it. All this time, and that's all I get from you. How can you not see what this means to the Krogan? This base can't be destroyed. I won't allow it.
Saren doesn't care about these Krogan. They're tools, puppets. He'll destroy them as soon as they're no longer useful to him. Is that what you want for your people?
No, we were tools for the Council once. To thank us for wiping out the Rachni, they neutered us all. I doubt Saren will be as generous. All right, Shepard. You've made your point. I don't like this, but I trust you enough to follow your lead. Just one thing. When we find Saren, I want his head.
And thus Rex becomes one of my best friends forever. I really like Rex, and I respect the shit out of that, because I get it. This would be the hardest thing, but he still did it. He did the hard thing for the right reason.
Krogan that responds
That
to reason.
got to be hard, because he cares more about his people than his own people, right? He's still, man,
Thank you for
awesome.
speaking with the Krogan. The assault on Saren's base will be difficult enough as it is.
I assume that means you've come up with a plan.
Of sorts. We can convert our ship's drive system into a 20-kiloton ordnance. Crude, but effective.
Nice. Drop that nuke from orbit, and Saren can kiss his Turian ass goodbye.
Unfortunately, the facility is too well fortified for that. We'll need to place the bomb at a precise location.
Where do we take the nuke? And how do we get there?
The bomb must be taken to the far side of the facility. Your ship can drop it off, but we'll need to infiltrate the base, disable the AA guns, and pacify any ground forces first.
You want us to go in on foot? We don't have enough men.
Good. I prefer a straight fight anyway.
It won't be that simple. We just don't have the numbers to meet them head-on. I'm going to divide my men into 3 teams and hit the front of the facility. While we've got their attention, you can sneak your shadow team in the back.
I just hope you survive long enough to be useful.
We're tougher than we look, Commander. But it's true. I don't expect many of us will make it out alive. And that makes what I'm going to ask even more difficult. I need one of your men to accompany me, to help coordinate the teams.
You expect me to commit one of my people to your command?
We are all soldiers by trade. If your people are not prepared to face such a risk, would you really want them by your side?
He's right, Commander. We can't do this without both teams at their best. I volunteer.
Not so fast, LT. Commander Shepard will need you to arm the nuke. I'll go with the Solarians.
With all due respect, Gunnery Chief, it's not your place to decide.
Why is it that whenever someone says, with all due respect, they really mean kiss my ass?
Who would be better suited to the mission?
Either of these two will do, Commander. Both seem willing to sacrifice their lives if necessary, though if we are lucky, such sacrifices won't be required.
Williams, you'll accompany the captain. No heroics, understood?
Aye, aye, Commander.
I will have the ordnance loaded onto the Normandy and brief your crew on its detonation sequencing. Do you have any questions before we go, Commander?
The Normandy's picking me up. How will your teams escape the blast?
We will engage the Geth as long as possible. Once the bomb is in place, we will fall back to try and escape the blast radius. If we move quickly, we should be able to escape with acceptable casualties. If not, then our memories will live on as martyrs to a greater cause.
You talk like this is a suicide mission.
I won't lie to you, Commander. There is a chance none of us will survive this assault, even your team. But we do what is necessary.
Shadow seems clear enough. What would the other teams be called?
Igor, Manavai, and Jaeto. They were the initial settlements on our first 3 colony worlds. They are at the heart of Solarian territory to this day. These names will remind my men what they are fighting for. They must have a personal stake in the fight if we are to have any chance of success.
I want to know more about the bomb. How reliable is it going to be?
Its reliability depends on the person arming it, but it will do the job. The drive system is highly impervious to damage from external sources. Once it has been armed, very little can stop it. The key is getting it into place and armed before the Geth can stop us.
Give me a quick rundown of the plan again.
You are Team Shadow. We will create a distraction while you infiltrate the base. Make your way to the breeding grounds at the heart of the facility. Disable the AA guns so the Normandy can land and deliver the nuke. If we get that far, we'll try to help you with guns, but don't count on it. Once you have the bomb, place it next to the geothermal taps. Then get out before it detonates.
Let's do this.
Excellent. Then if you'll excuse me, I need to prepare my men.
Well, this is it. Don't do anything stupid while I'm gone, LT. You too, Commander.
We'll be fine. You'll see.
Yeah, good luck.
Is there something you want to say, Chief?
I don't know, it's just weird, going under someone else's command. I've got used to working with you. All of you.
Don't worry. We'll see you on the other side.
I know. It's been an honor serving with you, Commander.
Whatever happens, everyone just keep shooting. We go in hard, hit them harder, and we'll be the only damn thing that comes out the other side.
You bet, Commander.
You all know the mission and what is at stake. I have come to trust each of you with my life, but I have also heard murmurs of discontent. I share your concerns. We are trained for espionage. We would be legends, but the records are sealed. Glory in battle is not our way. Think of our heroes. The silent steppe who defeated a nation with a single shot. Or the ever-alert who kept armies at bay with hidden facts. These giants do not seem to give us solace here, but they are not all that we are. Before the network, there was the fleet. Before diplomacy, there were soldiers. Our influence stopped the Rachni, but before that, we held the line. Our influence stopped the Krogan, but before that, we held the line. Our influence will stop Saren. In the battle today, we will hold the line. Good luck, Commander. I hope we will meet again. Com check. Do you read me, Commander?
It's fine. Let's move.
Good. We'll start our push. We'll try to make it to the AA guns, but it might be up to you to finish the job. And Commander, if you see any way to undermine their defenses, we could definitely use the help.
Okay, so that is like a little side quest here, kind of on the way to getting to, you know, the main base or whatever. Is to kind of sabotage some of the stuff along the way. I think there's like 3 or 4 objectives that we can disarm or whatever.
Shadow is on the ground. Repeat, Shadow is on the ground. Chief Williams with Igor team. Manovai, Teato teams, move. Time to get some attention.
So try to be thorough, trying to catch everything. Make it as easy on the other squads as possible.
Crossfire. Check for long-range turrets helping the Geth target.
Now see, Ashley's a badass. Ashley's in there. She's not even playing any games. She doesn't really like... Well, to be honest, I don't think she likes much of anything outside of humans. She certainly doesn't trust them. She's certainly more than willing to shoot them. Give her a target and tell her to fire at it. She's going to do her job. Liara's bouncing this dude off the hilltops, isn't she? Nice.
Think we got him, Commander.
Alright, there's their communications. Cool. Wow. Really? Seriously? I wouldn't mind living on this planet, honestly. This is cool.
Something scrambled. They're targeting. We've got a shot. Chief Williams, take the heat off Manavai.
Okay, I think that leads back to the base. Try to make sure I don't miss anything. It's not like I really have this part of the map memorized or anything, but I know some of the things we're looking for. There we go.
Lost shields.
Why did I shoot the hacked one? Because it was free shots. These things are nasty. They come to fight.
They're calling SAT strikes. Diego, watch for comm stations. Williams, can you see anything?
Here we go. Sat strike that. Got one of them. These guys are nasty. They are not playing any games. You stop shooting them for about 1 second, they're back full health, full shields. Sometimes they're damn near invincible. I'll take that.
It's over now.
Aircraft heading to perimeter stations to recharge.
Okay, they're like giving you clues on things to still look for. Aircraft heading to recharge before they come back to fight again. So we're gonna look for a refueling station. Take that. I gotta use this pistol ability more often. If I ever play through this game again as an adept, definitely gonna try to remember to spam that a little bit more. Okay, that's where we're actually headed over there. We don't want to go there yet. There's still at least one more thing to do out here. There we go. Ooh, rocket drones, not cool. Not cool at all.
Try to disable it before I can return to attack the
They're still shooting at us. Son of a bitch. Oh, nice. Well, took care of that for us. Hey, he did not want to die. Wow. Another rocket drone, damn. So this is what they would have been facing, the other teams would have been facing along with whatever else they're shooting at him, is these guys flying around bothering him. So we're doing him a serious favor right here. These are some gets that are never going to go back there and get in the fight. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. None of us died either? Sweet. Well, actually, I think Liara went down once, but we won't count that. All right, I think out here on the way to the base, I think that's it. Dealt with their communications, satellite uplink, refueling station. Now, if I recall, we just got to get past a bunch of angry Krogan and some friggin' snipers right here at the front door. This is brutal here, actually. They have more range than I do. See, this is where I wish I had my sniper rifle. In the next one, in Mass Effect 2, I'm going to play an infiltrator. I like the infiltrator class. I'm going to play the ones I've had the most fun with. Don't know that they're easier or harder than others. They're just the ones I like the best.
We may be getting some help from Shadow.
Although in this case, that did kind of influence my decision. The general consensus was that Adepts are a little harder to play with. The pure biotics and stuff, probably because of the light armor and pistol restrictions, assuming you don't have a bunch of other weapons unlocked and stuff like that. So, that did kind of influence this. But, Mass Effect 2, I don't know. I think most people tend to play Vanguards in Mass Effect 2, I think. Or just soldiers or whatever. I don't know. I like it. I really like the sniping. The sniping's really cool. Sniping's good in this one too. Like I said, if I had the bonus weapon skills unlocked for this, then I would go with sniper. Absolutely. Look at that crap. Isn't that ridiculous? Just lay into him. No. You don't get to reach up. Oh crap, that's not cool. Oh, thank you, Leon. Nice. That sniper's down there doing work. See what I'm saying? Friggin' brutal, man. Alright, let's get everybody back up.
All patched up.
Nice. Stuff. Always like stuff. But dude, you're maxed out on money. I don't care. It's still stuff.
Shadow team must be getting close. Hold the line, men. Hold the line.
Right, I still think there's one more favor we can do for him once we get in here. Oh yeah, that's right. I remember. Okay. Yeah, it has something to do with the security alarms.
We've got access to base security. We can put the alarms from here. Maybe even trigger alarms on the far side of the base. It'll clear the guards out for us, but they might be too much for the Solarian teams to handle.
Just disable the alarms. We can handle any guards inside.
Right on. I believe we can save the Solarian team. I believe we can, or at least some of them. Holy crap! Well, they came to fight, didn't they? I'll have to get the story. Son of a bitch. Uh-oh. We got flanked. Son of a... Man. Not cool. Get off me, dude. Okay, he's gonna be point blank shooting me in my face with that shotgun. Yeah, I'm almost dead. Please get him off me, please. Thank you. Appreciate that. Well, that was close. Damn. They said, you want to come up in here? You're going to pay for it.
All patched up.
There we go. Fresh start. All right. This dude. Punk. Oh, wow. I thought we got rid of him. What did he do? Well, wow, okay. I guess he went down to the other door and came back in to fight again or something.
Lock shields.
See ya. Yeah, this isn't going to bode well.
They were indoctrinated.
Well, Tally, really? You don't know? Even I know what's going on in this place. I knew what was going on before I got here. Yeah, okay. Well, here, let me break it down to you. They're indoctrinating people here. I know, it's complicated. Take that.
Area secured.
We're picking up Metagel off a lot of these enemies, too. Keeping it full. That's nice. There's a lot of aid stations around here, too, so that's not a big deal. It's mainly not getting overwhelmed and mobbed by the DPS when you get ambushed. There's a few spots like that. Like walking in here, I wasn't expecting that many people to be right there at the entrance. I guess that's the reason they give you the opportunity to sound the alarms somewhere else to clear some of that out. That was close. That was real close. So what do I want to max? I don't know. It doesn't matter. Let's see. 48. I'm assuming we'd probably hit about 52, 53. I've got some points to spend. I'm happy with what we've got right here. I say everything else is pretty much gravy at this point for us. Lift and Singularity are the two key ones that I'm worried about, so. Well, Liara is just a powerhouse, though. I haven't asked her to really do anything but just upgrade her powers, and now she's working on first aid, which is going to mean that our Metagel cools down faster, I believe, and heals more when you use it. $9,000 credits from that one Solarian.
Give a little ground, Williams. You don't want them to bunker up. Draw them out.
You like that? Give a little ground, Williams. You don't want to chase them all off. She's kicking so much ass. she's turning the get back by herself. She's a badass. Teach those Solarians a thing or two when no one else will come to save the day. He's like, you're all they sent? Shit, we're all you need. What are you talking about? One of us is as good as 50 of you. He recognized that too. He said, send one of your team with us to make our team complete. That tells me they recognize it. They may not want to admit it, but they recognize it. That's right. You can call humanity bullies and say we're doing this and we're doing that and whatever. When it comes down to it, who do you turn to for help? You know? And see? All right, remember I said this a few videos ago. I said you're going to see these little pedestal things here, these little circular pedestals that you can stand on, and this is what they do. They create the husks here, or they at least hold them in place so they can study them. But okay, they didn't go find these husks and bring them here. They made them here.
This is important work. This is the glorious salvation of my species.
Now, I don't know if the cure for the Krogan came from some kind of study of Reaper tech. Look at how quick her shields went back up. Holy crap. Well, that was one nimble little bitch right there. Seriously. Yeah, this one pistol ability turns your pistol into an assault rifle. Seriously. Nice. But I'm kind of, I have a sneaky suspicion, and this may be in a codex somewhere, I'm really not sure, but I think that ship, I think I mentioned this once before too, that ship that Rex was on when he first saw Saren, he couldn't figure out what Saren was looking for there, because all he saw was like some medical equipment and some basic weapons, no big deal. And you know the Krogan, if they can't find something to kill somebody with, then there's really nothing worth having there, right? So he probably wasn't keeping in mind that that's possibly where whatever Saren found that made him able to find a cure for the genophage, it may have been on that ship. So what Rex thought was worth nothing on that ship may have been the very thing. Maybe they were carrying some specimen of something that was pure, free of the genophage or something like that. Wouldn't be surprised to find out something like that, but anyway. Saren was on that ship for something, looking for something, and he's got the means, the ability to. Notice he had a Krogan scientist or doctor there working on it too. So he can create husks here. He can create genophage-free Krogan. Who knows what else?
Don't shoot! Please, I just want to get out of here before it's too late.
Everyone in this place is trying to kill me.
Do I look like a soldier? I'm a neurospecialist, and this job isn't worth dying over. Or worse. You think the indoctrination only affects prisoners? Sooner or later, Saren will want to dissect my brain too.
I thought this was a breeding facility.
Not this level. We're studying Sovereign's effect on organic minds. At least that's what I assumed. Saren kept us in the dark as much as possible.
You helped him and you do not even know why?
I didn't have the option of negotiating. This position is a little more permanent than I had expected. But I can help you. This elevator behind me goes to Saren's private lab. I can get you in. See? Full access. All of Saren's private files. Are we good? Can I go?
What were you studying here?
It's that ship, Sovereign. It emits some kind of signal. Undetectable, but it's there. I've seen the effects. Saren uses it to influence his followers, to control them. It's called indoctrination. Direct exposure to the signal turns you into a mindless slave, like the Salarian test subjects. But there's collateral damage, too.
What do you mean by collateral damage?
Sovereign's signal is too strong. Spend too much time near the ship and you feel it, like a tingle at the back of the skull. It's like a whisper you can't quite hear. You're compelled to do things, but you don't know why. You just obey. Eventually, you just stop thinking for yourself. It happens to everyone at the facility. My first test subject was the man I replaced. Now I just want to get out of here before it happens to me.
Why is Saren researching this? Isn't he the one controlling it?
The signal comes from the ship. It makes us obey Saren, but I don't think he controls it. Not exactly. I think he's scared it might be affecting him. Indoctrination is subtle. By the time the effects become noticeable, it's usually too late.
Tell me more about this signal.
Signal's not exactly the right word. There's some kind of energy field emanating from the ship. It changes thought patterns. Over time, days, maybe a week, it weakens your will. You become easier to manipulate and control, but it's a degenerative condition. There's a balance between control and usefulness. The less freedom a subject maintains, the less capable it becomes.
You conducted brutal experiments on helpless test subjects. You helped Saren. You don't get to live.
I just did what I was told. I didn't have a choice. I'm sorry.
Sorry doesn't help your victims.
No! No!
Or your future victims. If you were indoctrinated, right, and you were just talking out the side of your neck just then, which it didn't sound like, right, then you die. And if you weren't indoctrinated, that means you did all this really, really wicked shit of your own free will, which is even worse. You definitely die for that. And save any of your future victims from suffering the same fate as the man you replaced who was your first test subject. You enjoyed that shit. You signed on willingly to do this. You just didn't know what you were getting into. Well, that's your fault. All right, so through that door that she just unlocked is, that's actually where we're going. That's our objective. I want to go back here and see if we can't help some of these Salarian test subjects that she was talking about. We passed some holding cells along the way. I'd like to see if we can't do something for somebody. If I can remember exactly where to go. I think there was a second side door next to this elevator. I believe this takes us out there.
Well, you're not a Gath, and you're not wearing a lab coat. I guess I'm glad to see you. Lieutenant Gonto Imnes of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment, captured during recon. I assume the fleet was called in to destroy the base?
Everyone here is indoctrinated. You might be working for Saren.
My whole team was altered, but I was left alone as a control subject. I still have my senses, although I almost wish I didn't. I watched good people reduced to mindless husks. There wasn't anything left. Others died during the experiments. I envy them.
Do you know anything about the experiments they were conducting?
They were studying indoctrination. Symptoms, progress. Saren uses it to control his people, but I don't think he fully understands it. I don't know much else. I just saw what it did to the others. Turned them into empty husks. I can't end up like that, please. Let me out.
I'm opening your cell, but then you're on your own.
Don't look back and hope to outrun the blast, A better chance than I had before you showed up. Thank you, human. And good luck. You'll need it.
Well, even he knew about the fleet, so that was the plan all along.
These
Wow.
look docile. Their minds are gone.
What drove Saren to this? It is cruel beyond measure.
Better to die than to live like this.
Just kill them where they stand, Shepard. Are you certain?
It's what I would want.
Right on, Tyler. No doubt. That's not living, being a zombie slave. Although I guess we could have let the nuclear blast kill him. Then it may have just fried him alive for a while and they could have really suffered. I don't know. But it's degenerative and irreversible, so. But maybe they could have survived the nuclear blast, and maybe you could have found a cure for him somewhere on down the road. And, oh, you cruel bastard, I can't believe it. Whatever. Whatever. I didn't do all this, Saren did. Yeah, even that Solarian knew about the fleet, so that was the plan. Find Saren, get him holed up in the base, and then nuke it from orbit. Interesting.
What do you want?
And don't tell
I
Shepard.
told you everything. Who are you? Alliance, right? I knew someone would come. It tried to break me, but it couldn't. I shut it out.
Nobody's going anywhere till I get some answers.
Private Mano Savat of the 3rd Infiltration Regiment, STG, ma'am. Captured while on reconnaissance 6 days ago. Glad to answer, ma'am. Never any questions from these bastards. Just whispers and poking and cutting. I said anything to get out and get some payback. That's not too much to ask, is it? A little payback?
What did they do to you, soldier?
Experiments, but I don't know what for. The effect of incessant whispering on my shortening temper? Who knows? I just need out.
Something's not right here, Shepard.
Setting him free could endanger the mission.
No. No! I need to get out. This room is too small and it keeps talking and I really want to get out of here and get some work done. I need to get out. Let me out.
I can't take that chance.
Can't take that chance. No chance. I need to do what it says. I have to. Let me out. Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out! Let me out!
It's not funny. It's so funny, it's not funny. Okay, so the bottom line is you turn them into this, and they get amongst their own people, and once they get to this point, they just go berserk and kill their own people for you. So the Reapers just are constantly building their armies, their troops. from their enemies. If you can convert your enemies into your own foot soldiers, even if they are mindless husks, then you just build your numbers. Wow, that's devious, man. You know, I think if I'd have had the skill for it, there was some data which might have even led to another little side quest, or at least clarified one of the side quests back there in one of the tents, where Captain Karahi gave his speech and all that. But I didn't have any decryption or electronic skills. That's the only downside to having not invested any points in any of that. Okay, that's where we'll essentially be going next, but first we need to go see Saren's actual lab. His own little personal lab or office or whatever. And investigate that real quick. Hopefully find some answers there. Because I don't see him anywhere. We need to find him. Blowing this lab up? Well, that needs to be done regardless, but it'd be nice to blow it up with Saren in it, you know? That'd be killing all the birds with one stone. And I think Tally looks cool. She's awesome. She's my buddy. I really like all the teammates in this one. Really, I really do. Yeah, I like all of them. More so, I think in this one I like the full squad more so than in Mass Effect 2 and 3. I have my favorites in 2 and 3. In fact, I have some that I like exceptionally in 2 and 3. But let's see if anybody's dropped anything deep. Not really. But in this one, I think that the whole squad overall, they're characterized really well. Rex is cool. Garrus is really cool. Tally is awesome in her own way. Liara is like my girlfriend, and then Ashley's a character. She's like that. She's just that. She's that I got your back type friend, you know. And Caden, I don't know. Caden's his own thing. He has a story, you know. He has a history. He's overcome some stuff, and so I respect
Shepard,
that.
Look over here. It's another beacon, like the one on Eden Prime.
Yep. Saren's secret source of all of his power and directives and stuff. Okay. Well, maybe we got a little more clarity to our vision. Maybe a couple more clues? Guess we'll find out later.
I get the feeling something bad is about to happen.
You are not Saren.
What is that? Some kind of VI interface?
Rudimentary creatures of blood and flesh. You touch my mind, fumbling in ignorance, incapable of understanding.
I do not think this is a VI.
There is a realm of existence so far beyond your own, you cannot even imagine it. I am beyond your comprehension. I am sovereign.
Sovereign isn't just some Reaper ship Saren found. It's an actual Reaper.
Reaper, a label created by the Protheans to give voice to their destruction. In the end, what they chose to call us is irrelevant. We simply are.
The Protheans vanished 50,000 years ago. You could not have been there. It's impossible.
Organic life is nothing but a genetic mutation. An accident. Your lives are measured in years and decades. You wither and die. We are eternal. the pinnacle of evolution and existence. Before us, you are nothing. Your extinction is inevitable. We are the end of everything.
Whatever your plan is, it's gonna fail. I'll make sure of that.
Confidence born of ignorance. The cycle cannot be broken.
Cycle? What cycle?
The pattern has repeated itself more times than you can fathom. Organic civilizations rise, evolve, advance, and at the apex of their glory, they are extinguished. The Protheans were not the first. They did not create the Citadel. They did not forge the mass relays. They merely found them. The legacy of my kind.
Why would you construct the mass relays, then leave them for someone else to find?
Your civilization is based on the technology of the mass relays. Our technology. By using it, your society develops along the paths we desire. We impose order on the chaos of organic evolution. You exist because we allow it, and you will end because we demand it.
They are harvesting us, letting us advance to the level they need, then wiping us out.
Where did you come from? Who built you?
We have no beginning. We have no end. We are infinite. Millions of years after your civilization has been eradicated and forgotten, we will endure.
What do you want from us? Slaves? Resources?
My kind transcends your very understanding. We are each a nation, independent, free of all weakness. You cannot even grasp the nature of our existence.
Where are the rest of the Reapers? Are you the last of your kind?
We are legion. The time of our return is coming. Our numbers will darken the sky of every world. You cannot escape your doom.
You're not even alive. Not really. You're just a machine, and machines can be broken.
Your words are as empty as your future. I am the vanguard of your destruction. This exchange is over.
I think Shepard hit on a truth right there. I have a bit of a theory about this.
Commander, we got trouble.
Hit me, Joker.
That ship's Sovereign? It's moving. I don't know what you did down there, but that thing just pulled a turn that would shear any of our ships in half. It's coming your way, and it's coming hard. You need to wrap things up in there fast.
This console is no longer functioning. Ideas, Commander Shepard?
We'll head for the breeding facility. Time to blow this place to hell.
Right, Commander. I'll meet you there. Joker out.
Okay, some really key points to the lore and the story here is that I just managed to piss that machine off. And essentially I touched on the one point which I believe is the fundamental basis for the entire moral of the entire Mass Effect trilogy. Is this. Notice that machines, it felt it was necessary to belittle, felt it was necessary to boast, be arrogant, unnecessarily proud in its words, saying that I am this and you are not. I have and you don't, and all this. And then we asked, who created you? Couldn't answer that. And then basically said, you know, when it all comes down to it, you're still not alive. And that is what hits the Reaper at their heart. That is the point of all this, because they're a machine. They're a machine. In other words, they have to have a creator.
Looks like Shadow picked a sensitive spot. William,
being the machine. And I think I mentioned it before, is how the Geth kind of play into that. The Geth were made by the Quarians, and the Geth desire nothing but to be truly alive, right? To know what it is to have free will, to have a conscience, to have a soul, and so on and so forth. Besides a programmed right and wrong that you've mimicked from someone else, right? It seems like after all these eons and cycles of murdering and harvesting and all that, the only thing they've gathered I can't say human nature, the only thing they've gathered of living nature is to be arrogant, boastful, spiteful, pissy, jealous. Right, those are the only qualities that they seem to have mustered. I guess love, kindness, anything involving true morals, ethics, compassion, that which would allow you to sympathize or empathize with others, and those things which a machine cannot have and cannot be programmed into a machine. It's lacking those things, and that's the one thing that it just can't have, and it angers it, or at least it knows that its response should be anger based on the living organisms that in the past that it's mimicked. You see what I'm getting at here? And I think the Geth are a kind of a smaller version of that. What they desire from the Quarians, their quote-unquote creators, they even want to mimic something of a religious frame of mind, as they want to look to something as a creator. They want to look up. They want to see a point, something to evolve into. And Reapers, being the closest thing that they can really relate to, right, would be other machines far, far advanced, going back millions of years. But there has to be they're a created thing. They're a programmed thing with all their technological advancement and their ability to abuse an amount of power that the living organisms we see here today amongst the species. You know, all of our combined efforts together don't even come close to the individual power of just one of those Reapers. All that technological advancement, their weapons and their data banks and their ability to process information at a billion times the speed of even the computers that we have at our disposal. All this other stuff still doesn't make them alive. All that stuff they have that makes them able. Oh wow, some Colossus armor. You see that? What? Tally found some armor. Remember what I was saying? They're really good about giving you at least one set of armor you can use. Look at those stats. It's like double and triple what she had before. She's gonna be a beast. Make sure she's got cooldown reduction in both slots. That's the key for the biotics. May not go that way with another class, but with the biotics, you just want to be able to use their powers as often as possible. Yeah, at least they has some Titans. It's not bad. It's better than the base level armor. It's not quite as good as the Colossus, but it's okay. It'll work. Yeah, but anyway, that's the one thing they can't have is life. And I think their constant desire to get a race or a species to eventually evolve to the point that it's usable as an interface for the computers to meld with, in a sense. And I think that really is the gist of the story. And I don't think I'm spoiling the story in sharing that. I think I'm laying a foundation, a moral, a principle, a message that the story is getting. The really good stories will at least get a certain moral or an ethic or something across, right? That'll be the message, kind of the point, the thing that you can focus on and you can say that's really what they're trying to say in this. You know, I think that's it for Mass Effect. It's my personal belief, and it really
This will slow them down.
it makes the rest of the game make sense, honestly, and it makes the ending make sense also when we get there. We're going to talk a lot more about this. We got a lot of game to go. We're not even done here yet. We still have Mass Effect 2 and 3, and man, I want to say it just gets better, but I don't know. It's all good. This whole story is amazing. But you see the groundwork, the foundation they're laying. If you just listen to key words, listen to stuff. Oh, and by the way, for those of you that are really in the know about Mass Effect and have really, looked into the lore and stuff and all that, there is a theory of Shepard being indoctrinated even early on, way back maybe when we used the first beacon or something like that. I would disprove that with one statement made by that scientist who we killed, the one, the neurophysicist or whatever she was, right? That Asari who unlocked Saren's office for us. Remember she said that indoctrination is degenerative, and there's no degenerative effect on Shepard. So I think that disproves that just in a nutshell, right off the top. I think there's even more to it than that. It actually goes even deeper than that, than just Shepard not really being in control of her destiny, or is being somewhat controlled by some kind of something, right, as an effect from the beacon. I think her mind's too strong for that. In fact, I think her ability to receive from the beacon and all that proves that she's an exceptional candidate, and maybe something that the Reapers are even intimidated by, impressed by, scared of, if that were possible. And that's probably outside of their programming or their logic sensors to think that they might actually fear harm or extinction at the hands of one petty human, right? I mean, that doesn't even compute. But there you have it. So there's, you know, there's a big dynamic there in the works also. Anyway, I just thought I'd address that. Honestly, I think that one thing that one scientist said disproves that whole theory. It was a nice theory. It added drama, I guess, to the whole storyline or something. But I don't think that's the case. At least not in the traditional sense of what we see indoctrination being in the game. Shepard never becomes a husk. Sorry if that spoils the story, but we never become a husk. Too bad. Please let me finish them off. Damn it. Yeah, I knew they were coming up the ambush in the elevator. Just thought maybe I could finish that one off over there. Alright, can you blow them up, please? How about my botics just not doing a damn thing? Take that. Well, at least we didn't get a prime or a destroyer coming out of the elevator, right? The dude was standing there doing a little jig, dodging my bullets. See that? Alright, so either way, whether Saren's here or not, still, gotta nuke this place. Put an end to whatever he's doing here. At least end the threat of Krogan reinforcements to his already formidable army.
We need to clear the gap and set those charges.
I mean, the Krogan he has at his disposal already have been bad enough. Imagine if he had unlimited numbers of Krogan. Yeah, that would pretty much be a game ender right there. Okay, and it's one of those. I guess that stalker zapped me, acting kind of like an engineer. I guess. Yeah, take that.
I think we're done here.
Yeah, if you come into this mission
Everyone bunker down. Bunker down.
short on loot, short on money, short on upgrades, mods, stuff like that, you're gonna leave here with what you need. It's one thing about Virmire, you're gonna get a bunch of stuff. This is the loot mission right here.
Right. Nice work. That's one less thing to worry about. Commander, I'm bringing us in. I'll get as close to the site as I can.
Nice. So I guess we turn off the last of whatever might affect Joker's ability to not only get us, but help out our reinforcements too. Maybe go and pick them up also or something. That'd be nice. Because apparently all the teams are kind of scattered everywhere. Although some of us will group up here to get this nuke in place. Apparently Joker went and picked it up for us. Alright, good deal. Alright, so the Solarian teams are, I guess, out there trying to keep them off our backs. We get this thing planted and armed and what have you.
Bomb is in position. We're all set here.
Commander, can you read me?
The nuke is almost ready. Get to the rendezvous point, Williams.
Negative, Commander. The Geth have us pinned down on the AA tower. We've taken heavy casualties. We'll never make the rendezvous point in time.
Hold tight. We're coming to get you.
Negative! Just make sure that nuke is set! We'll hold them as long as we...
It's okay, Commander. I need a couple of minutes to finish arming the bomb. Go get them and meet me back here.
You keep that nuke safe.
Leveled up again. I heard it. Anything better than what I have now? Not really. Well, I wouldn't mind a Savant 10. That's a little better. Let's That's not a good trade-off. We'll max our pistols out. Let's just go ahead and do that. And I think we'll go back and forth with this. I could honestly get her electronics all the way up, but Liara already has hers up. But now electronics help either way, regardless. They help with her tech abilities and stuff, whether she actually needs to use it to unlock things. And these are the two I'm going to have in my squad, pretty much from here on out. We deal with enough Geth that Tali kind of has to tag along. Which store am I supposed to take here? Really? Of course it's going to be the last one I check, right? Of course. But yeah, and then Liara there to combine our biotics together. I mean, that's pretty much any situation we run into. If there's a mission where it's all organics, then run with Garrus. You know, but even then, Tali can still, she can hold her own, she can do her thing. Damping and overheat and stuff like that, she can do all that good stuff. Okay, we do not need a Krogan Warlord getting all up in our grill. Look at this dude regenning, man, that's crazy. It's brutal, man. Yeah, hack that dude, let them fight each other. Well, I have to take one of them out, I hope. This dude. Alright, I need to get everybody back up. Yeah, this is a mean ambush right here. It's deceptively strong. It's the DPS. It's the damage they can do. So I was talking about, if you can overcome that first wave of ambush damage that they throw at you, then you're probably good. Liara's got man down. Maybe I do need to upgrade her armor a little bit, I think. Find her some Colossus when we get back to the ship. Sometimes the merchant down in the Mako hold will have some. In fact, we will check. Just to see. Oh, nice shot. Tali with her carnage, man. Yeah, anyone who ever said, man, I wish they'd had some big guns in Mass Effect. You ever had Carnage? Carnage is a missile launcher. What are you talking about? It's a built-in bazooka. Around a little bit. I don't hear any heavy fighting. Unity amp. Unity amp. Aren't those the garbage ones? The Prodigy was the one I was talking about, right? The Solaris are trash. What's the Prodigy? I don't know. Unity. I'll take a look at that.
It appears the Geth have sent reinforcements.
Heads up, LT. We just spotted the troop ship headed to your location.
It's already here. There's Geth pouring out all over the bomb site.
Can you hold them off?
There's too many. I don't think we can survive until you get here. I'm activating the bomb.
What the hell are you doing, Alenko?
I'm just making sure this bomb goes off, no matter what. It's done, Commander. Go get Williams and get the hell out of here.
Screw that. We can handle ourselves. Go back and get Alenko.
Williams, radio Joker and tell him to meet us on the AA tower.
Yes, Commander,
It's the right choice, and you know it, Ash.
Stay alive. I'll be coming to get you too, Caden.
I think we both know that's not gonna happen, Commander.
No, go get Ashley, make it back, clear out those Geth, clear out that bomb site, and get out of here. It's always got to be something. Man, Saren's got a lot to answer for. Kind of goes without saying, though, right?
There is something foul in the air here.
Really? Waited to the last button, huh? Okay, give me that. Alright, let's go kick some ass, see if we can't save our people and get the hell out of here. If it's going down. Send a couple into orbit. I guess not. Well, let's see if I can send somebody into orbit. It's not. Take that. I love it when you time a grenade just right. Those things are fun.
Watch the corners! Suppressing fire!
So Olenko's talking about the dropship pouring Geth out all over their spot. Looks like they have their hands full here too. Same thing. There's Captain Kirahi too. Who's this? Oh, there he is. Come here, you bastard. He's got biotics too, huh? Because that's what those implants there that you see all in his body and stuff.
This has been an impressive diversion, Shepard. My Geth were utterly convinced the Solarians were the real threat. Of course, it was all for nothing. I can't let you disrupt what I've accomplished here. You can't possibly understand what's really at stake.
This isn't complicated. You'll do anything to get power. Even joining with the Reapers.
You've seen the vision from the beacons, Shepard. You of all people should understand what the Reapers are capable of. They cannot be stopped. Do not mire yourself in pointless revolt. Do not sacrifice everything for the sake of petty freedoms. The Protheans tried to fight, and they were utterly destroyed. Trillions dead. But what if they had bowed before the invaders? Would the Protheans still exist? A submission not preferable to extinction?
I'd rather die than live under the rule of those machines.
Now you see why I never came forward with this to the Council. We organics are driven by emotion instead of logic. We will fight even when we know we cannot win. But if we work with the Reapers, if we make ourselves useful, think how many lives could be spared. Once I understood this, I joined Sovereign, though I was aware of the dangers. I had hoped this facility could protect me.
You're afraid Sovereign is influencing you. You're afraid he's controlling your thoughts.
I've studied the effects of indoctrination. The more control Sovereign exerts, the less capable the subject becomes. That is my saving grace. The Sovereign needs me to find the conduit. My mind is still my own, for now. But the transformation from ally to servant can be subtle. I will not let it happen to me.
Why are the Geth following Sovereign?
They believe Sovereign to be some kind of god, the pinnacle of their own evolution. But the reaction of their deity is most telling. It is insulted. Sovereign does not desire the pitiful devotions the Geth hurl at it. They are just tools, and no amount of belief on their part will change that. But as tools, they are useful. They will survive the coming invasion. If organic life is to survive, we must also prove we are useful. We must work with the Reapers.
Wow.
Tell me why Sovereign needs the conduit. Tell me what it is. Maybe we can find a way to stop them.
The conduit is the key to your destruction and my salvation. Sovereign needs my help to find it. That is the only reason I have not been indoctrinated.
I'm not like you. I'd rather die fighting than live as a slave.
I'm not doing this for myself. Don't you see? Sovereign will succeed. It is inevitable. My way is the only way any of us will survive. I'm forging an alliance between us and the Reapers, between organics and machines. And in doing so, I will save more lives than have ever existed. But you would undo my work. You would doom our entire civilization to complete annihilation. And for that, you must die.
Yeah, okay. So this is the logic that causes people to bow down to dictatorships and socialist governments that would control them and take away their freedoms, is that, you know, better you give up your freedom than your life. And so it's the old adage that some people would rather live on their knees than die on their feet. And I guess it just matters what kind of person you are, I guess. Start kicking his ass right there, though. He's all kinds of enhanced. Look at this dude. Look at busting his bitch face. Take that. Now run, yeah. He can call his fear and cowardice whatever he wants. Loyalty and reason and logic, whatever. You're insane and you're a coward. Fly off, pussy. I know. You lose again. Let's get out of here. I didn't see Captain Kirrahe in that fight right there, but I did see him when we first showed up to save Ashley. And that's it. I had to leave Caden behind, or else I'll get caught in the nuke. And he's still fighting. That's a dude right there.
All right, everybody, hang on.
That's it. Damn. And that's hard.
I can't believe Caden didn't make it. How could we just leave him down there?
There was no time. I couldn't save you both. The bomb was about to go off.
It should have been me, Commander. You know that.
Chief Williams, I am your commanding officer. I did what I had to do. Do not question my orders.
I'm sorry, Commander. You saved my life. I'm grateful for that. But it should have been me. Alenko was a superior officer. I would have gladly stayed behind.
Ash, how far are you going to drive yourself? Are you trying to be a martyr? To redeem your grandfather's honor?
That's not fair.
The hell it isn't. I don't want a Marine with a death wish covering my back. Get over it.
Aye, Commander.
Commander, excuse me for interrupting, but I have an idea. I think the beacon you found in Saren's base was similar to the one you found on Eden Prime. It may have filled in the missing pieces of your vision. I might be able to help you put all those pieces together.
You want to join our minds again, don't you? Okay, go ahead.
Relax, Commander. Embrace eternity.
Alright, now, hopefully if we get some hint of what Saren's seen, then we'll know where he's going and we can just follow him right there. Whatever directions are in the vision, Saren's following them, so all we have to do is follow him too, and we'll meet him. We'll catch him. Son of a bitch, he's gonna pay for this.
Incredible. I never thought the images would be so intense. I need a moment to collect myself.
Did the vision make any sense to you?
It's a distress call. A message sent out across the Prothean Empire. A warning against the Reapers, but the warning came too late.
What about the conduit?
There were other images, locations, places I recognized from my research. Ilos! The conduit is on Ilos! That is why Saren needed to find the Mu relay. It is the only way to get to Ilos.
How come you never told us about Ilos before?
The Mu relay links to dozens of systems and hundreds of worlds. How was I to know Ilos was the one we wanted? Without the cipher, the images in your visions were never clear. Only now do I recognize them as landmarks from Ilos.
We need to get to Ilos.
Forget it. The Mu relay's inside the Terminus systems. Alliance ships are not welcome there. Neither are Spectres.
The conduit's on Ilos. That's where Saren's heading. I'll be waiting for him when he gets there.
Saren will have his entire fleet orbiting Ilos. You will never make it down to the surface without reinforcements. You must alert the Council. We need a fleet to... I am sorry. The joining is exhausting. I should go to the medical bay and lie down for a moment.
We're done here. Dismissed.
Commander, there's a convoy nearby. I can link us in if you want to report back to the Citadel Council. You know, to warn them about Sovereign.
Set the link up, Joker. They need to know.
Patching it through.
Commander Shepard, I'm pleased to see your mission on Virmire was a success.
Saren is formidable enough without an army of Krogan serving under him.
The Krogan would have served Sovereign, a Reaper.
Yes, we saw mention of this on your report. Sovereign, Ascension machine, a true artificial intelligence. This news is quite alarming, if it turns out to be accurate.
Sovereign's real. The Reapers are real. Saren even admitted it.
He's playing you, Shepard. Saren still has contacts on the Citadel. He probably saw your earlier reports, the ones talking about your vision and the Reapers.
It's highly possible Saren is using false information to throw you off balance. Our own intelligence has never turned up any corroborating information.
I tried to warn you about Saren. You didn't believe me then, and look how that turned out.
I believe you humans have a saying. Even a broken clock is right twice a day.
Here's another saying. Go to hell.
Maybe we were wrong about you, Shepard. Maybe humans are too hot-headed to be specters.
Enough! Commander Shepard has performed admirably so far. This discussion is only a minor disagreement.
Looks like we lost the signal, Joker.
Understood, Commander.
Yeah, that Turian, man. Surprised that wasn't a Turian recon team there on Virmire. Either way, we got the job done. We got what we needed. I think we'll be able to find them one way or another. All right. Thanks for hanging out for this long ride. Hope you got to finish your popcorn there. All right. Appreciate y'all watching. If you want to subscribe, click that button up top if you haven't already. If you want to catch the rest of this Let's Play up to this point, click that image in the middle. It should send you straight over there to the playlist. Y'all take care. Have a good one, and I will see you on the next one. Bye-bye.